Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to go over two fun ways to simulate physics in Maya, nCloth and rigid bodies. I'll start with nCloth. I've created a cube and I've done a mesh smooth on it. I'll raise my mesh up some in the y-axis. And now, in the Effects menu, I will go to nCloth. And I will apply a Create nCloth. Notice that when I hit play, my mesh falls because it's being affected by gravity. nCloth shares the nucleus nodes with the N particles. With my nucleus node selected, I will tell it to use plane, and now my mesh collides with the ground plane. With my mesh selected, I'll go to the Attribute Editor and find the Shape node. And here I'll find the presets. These are a great starting point when working with nCloth. I will apply the first one, Airbag. Now if I change the preset to Putty, you will see that my mesh will react very differently. I'll now change my preset to Water Balloon. And I'll now change it to Solid Rubber. And now let's see what happens if I blend Solid Rubber with 50% Water Balloon. As you can see, there are a number of different presets to choose from. I'm going to create another piece of geometry, a cube. I'll place it underneath my other mesh, and I'll rotate it about 45 degrees. I will not be making this mesh into an nCloth, however. Rather, I'll go to nCloth and create a passive collider. Now let's see what happens when I play the simulation. With strategically located passive colliders, it is possible to create very interesting interactions. Notice that my second cube is not a passive collider yet, but if I apply a passive collider to it, my mesh will now collide with it as well. I'll create a third passive collider. But with this collider, I'll do something else with it. Passive colliders can be animated. I'll apply a simple animation to my third passive collider. Now that my third passive collider is animated, let's see what happens. Very elaborate obstacle courses can be created for your nCloth simulations. And here's another quick little example that I created. The collision properties of both the nCloth and the passive collider can be adjusted for different effects. In this case, I have taken my passive collider and adjusted its stickiness. That is why this gum-like mesh is sticking to the cube. Another fun technique to try out are rigid bodies. This game die that I modeled and textured is a perfect occasion to use rigid bodies because this needs to have a hard surface. I should mention that rigid bodies are an entirely different system apart from the nParticles and nCloth. With my mesh selected, I'll first make sure that I'm in the Effects menu set. And I will go to Fields, Solvers, Create Active Rigid Body. Unlike the nCloths, gravity will not automatically be applied to my rigid body. If I hit play, you'll notice that nothing happens. What I need to do is apply a gravity field. With the mesh selected, I will go to Fields, Solvers, and pick Gravity. And now, if I hit play, my game die will fall. As I mentioned, this is an entirely different system than the nCloth example that we looked at earlier. If I want my game die to collide with this tabletop, I need to apply a passive rigid body to it. Now my game die falls and collides with the tabletop. However, it's still not entirely convincing. If I rotate my game die a little bit and then hit play, I'll get a much better simulation. And rotating my game die differently will give me different results. Like the nCloth passive colliders, we can also animate our passive rigid bodies. So go and have fun with nCloth and rigid bodies. Thank you for watching.